Unfortunately, there is a lot of confusion and a lot of unhappiness with the CAPS curriculum, specifically relating to the lower grades, where the techniques seem to be quite problematic, to use a kind word for it. People complain about it all the time. So I would just like to take this opportunity to give you a little bit of an extract from the CAPS curriculum to tell you what is the method in the madness. And then we'll take a look at the question that was originally intended to be in this recording, because that comes back to these techniques. So for instance, if we take a look at dividing, you'll see there that they say learners use what they know about multiplication to do division. So if you read through everything, you'll see that the curriculum actually makes provision for a lot of mental arithmetic. They want the children to learn how to use their mental maths when doing mathematical calculations. Not just immediately go back to the calculator or something similar that makes it easy and prevents the brain from working. You'll see it there. There are some calculation techniques that they specifically point out, and that one there, doubling and halving, and then in the next one we've got addition and subtraction, mental calculations, multiplication with multiples of 10. That is what division, the clue board that a lot of schools don't teach, actually is all about. Because what they do, if you take a look at that clue board, you'll see there we've got an example of 75 divided by 4. Now we can do long division, yes we do, in grade 6 and onwards in the curriculum. They actually give the kids the opportunity to start using long division. But in grade 3, 4 and 5 they want them to use the clue board, because what it teaches them is doubling, halving and multiplying by 10. Mental arithmetic. If you say for instance 4 times by 10 is 40, so you double the 10 to 20, then your answer would double. Then you're at 80, now you're too big for 75. So let's go a little bit back. Then we can say, for instance, if the numbers are bigger, we can say multiplying with 100 means you just put 2 zeros at the back. It's all that mental arithmetic. Then we expand that even further when we are looking at adding and subtracting, where they are talking about the breaking down method. Now another word that everybody knows for breaking down method is actually expanded notation. So what they do is, if you look at that calculation there, the subtraction, yes we can do the calculation in vertical columns where we borrow and everything like that. No problem with that. But if you teach the children how to use expanded notation, you're also teaching them something else in the process of adding and subtracting. And that is the important thing. That is what the curriculum actually tries to achieve. That is the method in the madness. They're trying to teach them mental arithmetic, keeping the brain strong while teaching them adding, subtracting, multiplying and dividing. So that's just a little background. You'll also see, if I just scroll down a little bit, they are talking about the commutative property, associative property. They are specifically saying that they shouldn't have to know those words in the lower grades, but they need to know what the commutative property is. They need to know what the associative property is, because it makes calculations easier. It makes it possible to swap terms around, to control your answers, to do inverse operations, etc., etc. It's all about mental arithmetic. So if we then come back specifically to the question that we need to answer, I want to just jump back quickly first again to the CAPS curriculum about this type of question, where they are talking about number sentences. And you'll see there at the top of the page it says writing and solving number sentences prepares learners for writing algebraic expressions and solving equations in the senior phase. Preparing them. A normal plain number sentence is part of the process of preparation in the later grades when they start doing algebra in the senior phase and in high school. Writing and solving number sentences also provides opportunity to consolidate learners' numbers knowledge. That is what it's all about. And then you'll see there, from the CAPS curriculum, write number sentences to describe problem situations, solve and complete number sentences by inspection. That literally means trying a few things, guessing the answer. That's what inspection means. Then they also say trial and improvement. Try. If it doesn't work, try something else. You don't have to have an algebraic technique yet in grade 4. And then we look at this question specifically. Now, what is very important in this question to see, this is the important bit, is there. They are giving an example They're not saying this is the way it should be done. They're saying check Maury's answer because Maury solved the question in that specific way. So let's take a look at what they give us. There's a number sentence. 87 plus 7 is equal to something. Now typically a number sentence can be written like this. 87 plus 7 is equal to just a line, or it can be written as 87 plus 7 is equal to 94. That's a number sentence. In this case, they are breaking the right hand side up by leaving a blank space plus 5. We need to find what that blank space is. Now there is a number of different ways in which this can be done. You can take a look at the 94 and just simply subtract the 5. Again, there's some mental arithmetic because now you know what needs to happen is there in that block needs to be written 89. It's obvious, yes it is, but that's not what the example is all about. This example says Maury solved it like this. 7 is equal to 2 plus 5. The child now needs to look at that and think about it. Evaluate. That's what this example is all about. Evaluate, not stipulate this is the way you must do it. They are saying this is the way it was done. Check it. Is it accurate? Does it work? That's all this example is all about. So let's take a look at what she did. She said that 7 over there I'm going to write as 2 plus 5. In other words, the left hand side becomes 87 plus 2 plus 5. Then you compare that to the right hand side, which has also got a plus 5. So obviously then what she did is she said, okay, let me just group those two terms back together, and that comes back to this property, the associative property, where they need to see that I can actually group, associate the 87 and the 2 together and leave the 5 until later. So that will then give me 89, and that's exactly what is happening over there. So then they say this is correct, because on the right hand side you get, then if you do that association or the grouping, you get 94, and on the left hand side we got 94. So now we have 94 is equal to 94, and that is the bottom line of number sentences or equations in later grades, that you've got something where the left hand side equals the right hand side. So whatever technique the learner wants to use in this type of number sentence, whatever, the curriculum is full of examples where they are given leeway. One learner can do this, another learner can do that. They don't necessarily stipulate that you must only do one technique. But thinking is the important thing. Questioning is the important thing. That is what the CAPS curriculum wants, and that's pretty much what this example actually wants to initiate. They just didn't say that in so many words.